Deep in the heart of Southeast Asia lies a land veiled in mist and mystery, Laos. A country where mountains rise like ancient guardians and rainforests breathe with the rhythm of life itself. This is one of the last great wildernesses of Indochina, a sanctuary for rare and remarkable creatures, each playing a role in the grand harmony of nature. Laos is blanketed by forests that stretch across nearly 70% of its land. These rainforests, from the evergreen valleys of the Annamite Mountains to the misty plateaus of Bolaven, shelter one of the richest collections of wildlife on Earth. Over 8,000 species of plants, towering dipterocarp trees, vines and orchids paint the forest in a palette of endless green. Among them, thousands of animals find refuge. Over 250 species of mammals, 700 species of birds, and hundreds of reptiles and amphibians, many found nowhere else on the planet. Hidden in these forests are creatures so elusive that few have ever seen them. The Saola, often called the Asian unicorn, was only discovered in 1992, a living relic of evolution. With its slender horns and gentle eyes, it drifts silently through the forest shadows, its population now perilously small, perhaps fewer than 50 in the wild. Hidden deep in the misty rainforests of Laos lives one of the world's most mysterious creatures, a being so rare that few eyes have ever seen it. Locals call it Saola, the Asian unicorn. It is a symbol of purity, silence, and survival, and it may be on the brink of disappearing forever. In 1992, deep in the Annamite Mountains, a team of scientists stumbled upon strange, long parallel horns in a hunter's home. They belonged to no known species. What they discovered stunned the world, a new, large mammal, the first of its kind in more than half a century. The Pseudorix ngetinhensis, or Saola, is unlike any other. With its smooth chocolate-brown coat, white facial markings, and twin slender horns stretching nearly half a meter long, it looked as if it had stepped out of myth and into reality. But this revelation came with a tragic truth. The species was already vanishing. The Saola's home lies in the Annamite Range, a chain of rugged mountains straddling Laos and Vietnam. Here, mist shrouds the trees almost year-round. The forest floor glistens with ferns and moss, and streams carve narrow valleys. Within this realm, the Saola moves like a shadow. It prefers evergreen and wet tropical forests where dense undergrowth provides both food and cover. It is rarely seen in open areas. Even in places where it exists, villagers might live a lifetime without glimpsing one. The Saola is a quiet herbivore, feeding on the leaves of fig trees, ferns, bamboo shoots, and young tender plants near mountain streams. It drinks from cool, fast-flowing rivers that thread through the rainforest, and it follows narrow animal trails that have existed for generations. Unlike deer or cattle, Saolas live in solitude or in pairs, shy, alert, and graceful. Their large eyes and keen sense of smell help them detect danger long before it arrives. But no instinct could prepare them for the danger brought by humans. The Saola's world is shrinking. Across Laos, illegal logging, agricultural expansion, and road building have sliced through the once endless forests of the Annamite Range. Each new road opens the door to hunters, and the forest fills with silent traps. These traps, metal wire snares, are set for wild pigs and deer. But the Saola, moving quietly through the same paths, often becomes an accidental victim. Caught in the snare, it struggles and dies alone in the forest it once called home. Though hunting Saola directly is rare, for most people have never even seen one, the threat of indiscriminate snaring is devastating. It is believed that only a few dozen Saolas remain in the wild, perhaps fewer than 50. Some experts fear the number could be as low as 10 individuals in Laos. In Laos, Saolas survive in a few remote sanctuaries: the Nakhai Nam Theun National Protected Area, the Nam Et Phu Lue, and the Nam Pui forests. These are some of the most remote wildernesses in Asia, a final refuge for elephants, douc langurs, and hornbills. Conservationists and local rangers patrol these forests day and night, removing snares and protecting what little remains. But in a landscape so vast and with populations so low, finding even a single Saola is like searching for a whisper in the wind. The Saola cannot live in captivity. Every attempt to keep one in a zoo has ended in tragedy. The animal stops eating, grows weak, and dies. It belongs only to the wild. This makes conservation both urgent and delicate. Scientists cannot breed them. They can only protect the last wild individuals and the forests they inhabit. International organizations like the Saola Working Group have joined forces with the governments of Laos and Vietnam to create protected corridors, monitor camera traps, and train anti-poaching patrols. Every photograph, every footprint, every strand of fur becomes a priceless clue in the race to save a species on the edge. In the stillness of the Laos rainforest, there are stories we may never fully know, footsteps that fade before they are found. The Saola's life is a fragile thread connecting the past and the future, a reminder of what the world once was and what we still stand to lose. If we lose the Saola, we lose not only a species, we lose a piece of Earth's soul. But if we protect it, we prove that humanity can still act with wisdom, compassion, and respect for the wild heart of nature.
The red-shanked douc is a creature of the treetops. It rarely descends to the ground, preferring the safety and comfort of the high canopy. Every movement is graceful, a silent leap between branches, a precise reach for a tender leaf. They live in tightly knit groups, often composed of several males and multiple females with their young. Within these troops, social grooming forms the foundation of their relationships. The gentle combing of fur by delicate fingers reinforces unity, trust, and peace. Males act as sentinels, watching for danger from above, while females nurture their infants, wrapping their tails around the young as they rest in shaded branches. In the early morning, as the fog lifts from the forest floor, the doucs awaken. Their calls begin softly, a series of low grunts and gentle coos exchanged among group members. These contact calls are essential. They keep the troop connected as they forage across the vast canopy. When danger approaches, such as an eagle circling above or the distant rustle of human footsteps, the tone changes sharply. A staccato bark pierces the still air, alerting every member of the group. In an instant, the doucs vanish into the foliage, their red limbs blending into the dappling light of the forest. Their calls are the language of survival, an intricate soundscape that echoes through the trees. The rainforest of Laos provides the perfect environment for this species. It is a world of constant green where broad-leaved trees stretch upward toward the sun and vines twist in endless patterns of life. The doucs inhabit both primary and mature, secondary forests, often on hilly terrain where the canopy remains unbroken. In these lofty realms, they find safety and food. Their world depends on continuity. A single gap in the canopy can fragment their home range and separate families. For the red-shanked douc, the forest is not merely a habitat. It is their entire existence. Their diet is as selective as it is specialized. Red-shanked doucs are primarily folivorous, feeding on young leaves that are soft and rich in nutrients. They possess a complex, multi-chambered stomach that ferments tough plant fibers, allowing them to digest what most animals cannot. They are known to consume more than 50 species of plants, including buds, unripe fruits, seeds, and flowers. In the wet season, when new leaves sprout in abundance, the doucs travel longer distances through the canopy, feeding and socializing for hours each day. In the dry season, they must rely on evergreen trees and tougher foliage, showing remarkable adaptability. Each feeding session is a slow, deliberate act, selecting leaves with care, chewing thoroughly, and passing them to the stomach's specialized bacteria for fermentation. Yet despite their mastery of life in the trees, the red-shanked doucs face growing peril. Once widespread across Indochina, their numbers have dwindled drastically over the past few decades. In Laos, small populations survive in protected regions such as Pho Hin Pun, Nakhai Nam Theun, and parts of the Annamite Range, but these are fragmented and isolated. Habitat loss remains their greatest threat. Expanding agriculture, logging, and infrastructure projects carve open the forests, creating barren scars that divide the canopy and trap douc populations in shrinking islands of greenery. Hunting adds a darker layer to their struggle. The red-shanked douc is hunted for bushmeat and traditional medicine, and sometimes captured alive for the illegal pet trade. In many forests of Laos, silent snares wait on the forest floor. Loops of wire that claim the lives of countless wild animals. Though the douc lives high above, even they are not entirely safe. Hunters climb trees or use firearms to reach them, The species' striking beauty, once their greatest gift, has become a tragic curse. Population estimates are uncertain due to the difficulty of surveying these elusive canopy dwellers. However, experts believe that numbers across Laos have fallen to a few thousand individuals at most, scattered in small, disconnected groups. Such isolation reduces genetic diversity and threatens long-term survival. Without connected forests, young doucs cannot disperse to form new groups, and inbreeding weakens future generations. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, lists the red-shanked douc as endangered, a status that reflects the urgency of its situation. Still, within the canopy, hope persists. The species shows remarkable resilience. Red-shanked doucs adapt to subtle changes in food availability and microclimate. Their keen eyesight and communication allow them to avoid many natural predators, and their social organization provides strength in numbers. They are cautious yet curious, capable of surviving in secondary forests when the conditions are right. This adaptability gives conservationists a reason to believe that with proper protection, the species can recover. In several parts of Laos, local communities are beginning to take part in conservation efforts. Villagers, once dependent on hunting, are finding alternative livelihoods through ecotourism and forest stewardship programs. In the Nakhai Namthayun region, patrol teams work to remove snares and monitor wildlife. Educational campaigns are teaching new generations about the importance of protecting these primates. Scientists are also deploying camera traps and acoustic recorders to study their movements and calls, non-invasive tools that reveal their hidden lives without disturbing them. Conservationists emphasize that protecting the red-shanked douc means protecting the entire ecosystem. The species serves as an indicator of forest health. Where doucs thrive, the forest canopy is intact, the food web is balanced, and biodiversity flourishes. They are seed dispersers and herbivores that shape plant communities, helping maintain the delicate balance of the rainforest. As twilight descends over the Lao rainforest, the forest grows quiet. The last rays of sunlight strike the crowns of tall trees, turning the douc's red limbs to glowing embers. One by one, the troop settles down for the night, high in a favorite sleeping tree. A mother cradles her infant as the forest cools. Nearby, an older male surveys the darkening horizon. A soft series of murmurs passes through the group. Low, rhythmic sounds that echo the heartbeat of the forest. The night belongs to crickets and frogs now, but somewhere in the canopy, the doucs remain, wrapped in a living silence. Their future depends on whether humanity can learn to coexist with the wilderness they embody. The red-shanked douc is not merely a symbol of Laos's rainforest. It is a living testament to the beauty, complexity, and vulnerability of nature itself. To lose them would be to silence one of the forest's most eloquent voices. But if the forests of Laos are protected, if the canopy remains unbroken, and the snare lines fall silent, then the red-shanked douc's calls will continue to echo through the green depths, a song of survival carried on the wind deep within the heart of Asia.
The Serow is a symbol of endurance. It is built for the mountains, muscular, sure-footed and cautious. Standing about a meter tall at the shoulder, with short, sharp horns curving backward and a shaggy coat that changes from slate grey to black, it blends perfectly into the shadowed rocks. Its eyes are deep and alert, always watching for danger. Solitary by nature, the Serow prefers to move alone or in pairs, often a mother with her young. Unlike deer or macaques that roam in groups, the Serow depends on stealth and knowledge of its terrain for survival. In the early morning, before the sun reaches the ridges, the Serow begins to stir. The air is cool and heavy with mist. From the forest below, cicadas call, and the sound of dripping water fills the ravines. The Serow's hooves crunch softly against damp earth as it descends from a rocky ledge to feed. Its movements are cautious, calculated, every step placed with balance and precision. It knows the land intimately, every slope, every narrow path between cliffs. This landscape of stone and forest is its fortress. The Serow's calls are rare and subtle. Unlike the loud cries of monkeys or birds, the Serow communicates mostly through posture, scent, and occasional short vocalizations, deep, throaty grunts or snorts when alarmed. During the mating season, males produce low, rasping calls that echo faintly through the valleys, announcing their presence to rivals and females alike. These sounds are brief but powerful, carrying through the dense forest where sightlines are short. In moments of threat, the Serow will emit a sharp, explosive snort, a sound that alerts others nearby and sends predators scattering. The habitat of the Serow in Laos is as dramatic as the animal itself. It prefers steep limestone mountains, rocky outcrops, and dense evergreen forests where few other large mammals can survive. These rugged areas stretch across northern and central Laos, particularly in the Annamite range that borders Vietnam. Here, vertical cliffs, caves, and hidden valleys create a mosaic of microhabitats, places of safety and abundance. The Serow rests in caves or beneath overhanging rocks during the day, coming out to graze in the cool hours of dawn and dusk. Its range may extend over several square kilometers, but always centered on the same cliffs and ridges it knows so well. The rainforest provides a steady supply of food. The Serow is a browser, feeding on a wide variety of vegetation: tender leaves, shoots, grasses, ferns, and young bamboo. It also consumes fruits, herbs, and mineral-rich plants that grow on exposed limestone. During the wet season, when vegetation is lush, the Serow feeds freely across forest edges and open slopes. In the dry season, it moves to areas where evergreen trees retain their foliage or where underground water seeps keep the plants green. The animal's strong stomach allows it to digest fibrous plants that few other species can utilize. Occasionally, it visits natural salt licks, deposits of minerals vital for bone strength and digestion. These mineral sites are social hubs, where individuals sometimes encounter one another, leaving scent marks to claim their territory. Despite their strength and adaptability, Serows face serious challenges. Their numbers across Laos have declined sharply over the past decades due to hunting and habitat loss. The Serow's meat is valued in local markets, and its horns and bones are used in traditional medicine. As roads and logging tracks reach deeper into the forested mountains, hunters gain easier access to areas that were once isolated. Wire snares, silent and deadly, are set across trails, claiming countless victims. Even protected areas in Laos, such as Nam Et Phu Luay and Nakai Nam Thun, are not immune from poaching pressures. The Serow's population today is fragmented, scattered across isolated pockets of suitable habitat. Precise numbers are difficult to estimate because of their elusive nature, but conservationists believe the population in Laos is declining and likely in the low thousands. Many groups are now small and genetically isolated. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, lists the Serow as vulnerable, but in several regions of Laos it may already be endangered. Yet the Serow continues to survive in places where few other large mammals can endure. Its agility, caution, and intimate knowledge of the mountains allow it to evade most predators, including humans. When threatened, it does not flee recklessly. Instead, it bounds upward, leaping onto narrow ledges where pursuit is impossible. Its hooves grip rock faces with astonishing precision. It can stand motionless for hours, blending perfectly into the surroundings, its dark fur merging with shadow and stone.